TVP. We're going to be starting off today on Calm Before the Storm.
Yep, here we go. The Calm Before the Storm, one of the biggest StarCraft 2 maps out there right now. So, I mean, if we thought that TVP was going into macro mode already, this map is definitely going to send it into an even more extreme macro mode. Because, you know, we got that safe natural. We can get into all that here in a second, but just stating, it's a huge map. So, you know, Sham 2, I'm going to let you take it away with the introductions.
Awesome, thank you very much. And spawning down here in the bottom left-hand corner is going to be our red Protoss pieces, Gosu's HwangSin. And up here in the top right-hand corner is going to be the pink Terran deploying all the way from the core hall sector itself. It's going to be Vile's Illusion. So we've got cross positions already on this map, and forgive me for 1 second. The controls are not the way I want them to be.
Hey, no worries. So guys, again, Calm Before the Storm, huge map going down right now. We got this really safe, tucked away natural within the main base, basically, for each player. So again, if I'm really going to be expecting each player to go for a first command center and a first nexus on this map. Looks like Vile will be throwing down that barracks first, actually. But after that, if he's not opting to go for any one base pressure, which would take a ton of time to go across this map, he's definitely going to be going into that command center here pretty soon. Again, safe natural. Third is actually pretty safe as well. That's, again, why we see really long macro games on this map. We're going to have to wait and see where both players are going to go with this, of course. And Vile Illusion not taking any sort of gas during this barracks building automatically means that command center is going down.
You want to go for that nice, no gas fast expand. You can just pump out a whole bunch of Marines. Now, the only reason I would be a little bit skeptical of doing that type of build on this map is because you don't have a ramp at your natural. And those Stalkers would be able to take a lot of advantage of that, be able to really outrange those Marines and get a lot of extra hits on them, if not completely kite them perfectly. But given what we've seen of Vile Illusion's Marine Micro, I don't think this man is going to have any problems whatsoever fending off any type of Stalker attacks. Now, looking at HwangSin, however, he went for that nice 15 Nexus, so he's going to get that econ absolutely way ahead of our Terran opponent.
Yeah, so you're exactly right. He's going to have that little extra edge in this gameplay right now. We should be seeing Vile Illusion throw down his command center. There it finally goes. They're both going to kind of be... I'm not going to say that HwangSin is going to have a huge advantage, but definitely he's going to have a couple more probes chronoed out and whatnot. It's going to delay that warp gate, of course, just a little bit. So, I mean, if there's any sort of Marine aggression that wants to make its way across the field, like we're kind of seeing on the map right now from Vile Illusion, it might be able to poke up in there and do a little bit of damage.
Yeah, and it looks like those Marines are going to deny the scouting probe, so beautiful play there. Guessing the probe's exact trajectory, so that was some really nice interception there. Going to deny HwangSin the ability to see Illusion's base, so he's going to be completely in the dark right now.
Yeah, just as you said, really great Marine positioning and intuition from Vile Illusion. Following it up right now, he, of course, got that standard double gas going on right now. I mean, of course, when you go for a one Rax command center, you want to catch up in tech as much as you can, so you want to throw down both of those gases right away, and then you're going to start getting those attachments so you can get stim out right away as well if you're going to be going for that sort of bio play, which we should be seeing Vile Illusion do.
Yeah, and with Vile Illusion, as I was saying before, he was going against Choya. He had this just beautiful control of his complete MMM force. Now, interestingly enough, in that game, he went for 4 Raxes before he went for any type of factory play. So this is actually a pretty quick factory we're seeing coming out here. Tech Lab and Reactor going down on the Raxes as well.
Yep, again, we should be seeing that stim come out of the barracks once that Tech Lab does finish up. Going for that double gas, of course. Now, I'm wondering if he's going to go into the Hellion play with this factory and this barracks right here, swap it out. Nope, just going to be going straight for that starport play, even though we do know that Vile Illusion is very notorious as well for his Hellion play. He's great in micro with those Hellions. So none of that action is going to be going on this game. Just going to be throwing down the Tech Lab to possibly even swap it out with the starport, maybe do some Banshee harassment.
That would be some pretty interesting 2-1-1 play. That's some. That's actually a pretty old build from very long ago, near beta days, if not very close to the release. Was the 2-1-1 Terran builds. And now I'm just hearkening back to all the way back there, back in the good old days, Nerd Swagger.
Back in the old good, the vanilla WoW, right?
The vanilla WoW of StarCraft 2 when roaches had so many.
Wow, we're even seeing Vile Illusion go for cloaks right now. I'm actually really surprised at that with this Banshee play, just because as far along in the game as we are, I mean, a Robo, of course, is already going to be out by this time with an Observer, but the thing that I think Vile Illusion is going to be banking on here, Shampoo, is that Observer is going to be nowhere close to the main base for that detection.
Well, not only that, but when you do get that cloak technology out for a Terran player, that's going to force the Protoss to keep pumping out observers, and that is just very necessary robotics facility time that the Protoss just doesn't want to give up to observers. It's going to diminish his amount of Immortals and his Colossus by just having to keep pumping out more and more observers if the Terran keeps sniping them out, or even if he's just harassing all around the whole map.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And, you know, HwangSin did keep his Observer around at the natural for a little bit because he's like, all right, this is kind of around the time a Banshee harassment would be going down if Vile Illusion opted for a quicker, the more standard maybe, if you will, kind of Banshee play. But, you know, since he got the double racks up and, of course, he got the command center up before that even as well, that Banshee play is going to be delayed. And look at this. They're almost crossing past the Observers in the middle of the map. Banshee now just heading down to the natural, already has cloak done. This is going to do a lot of damage, Shampoo.
It is going to do a lot of damage. There's only one single Stalker out over here at the natural. There's a couple of sentries towards the front. Now HwangSin's going to be trying to grab his third, but he's going to get a lot of harassment here. A number of Stalkers going to be warped in as well. And now that Observer's going to have to be chrono boosted out. He's going to get good scouting information if he does go through the rest of the base. But did he catch? No, he did not catch the dual forge that's going down for HwangSin right now.
That's kind of a big spot to miss as well. You don't want to fall behind in those upgrades if you're going towards that later game. But it looks like we should be seeing some 2-base aggression come out of Vile Illusion. He's pumping out some tanks. I wouldn't be too surprised if he's going to be going once this Raven and third tank is done. But that Observer is sitting over his base right now, so he's going to be spotting all of this action going down. So he'll know that an attack is incoming. And, you know, that's exactly why Vile Illusion pulled that Banshee back right away as well. He didn't want to lose that for any stupid reason. We actually see another Banshee focusing in the natural. It only got 1 kill, so not a lot of damage done, but it'll be great in the engagement.
But this is where I was mentioning that previous point, where by keep harassment with those Banshees, that diminished the amount of time that HwangSin had to pump out Immortals, which is going to make this push of just purely mech going to be so crucial, because those Immortal numbers are not going to be absolutely huge, and so the Marine numbers are going to be able to deal with those Immortals a lot easier.
Yeah, those Marines should be able to melt down those Immortals if focused correctly. We're going to have to see how that engagement works out for him, if he gets the space needed to do so. There's a lot of space in this third base, if you will, over here, to kind of work with it. If he gets the fight out here a little further in the natural, that'll probably work better for him. But if he tries to battle up this ramp, that's not going to really work in his favor, but that's why he has that Raven. It's going to give him that nice high ground vision, and he's going to be able to throw down that point defense drone to take care of the Stalkers as well.
Now he does see this push coming, so he's going to be pulling back his probes from this third base, the forward third base over here. And this is going to be a very interesting fight for HwangSin to deal with. He's only got a couple of sentries, but they are at full energy, so he's going to have a number of force fields ready. But look at the force coming from Vile Illusion right now, Swagger. This is a huge force. Now Combat Shield has just finished up. He's got Neo Steel Frame coming on the way, so these bunkers are going to be extra beefy when they do pop up. So that's actually pretty interesting, a very interesting synergy to have here. First Colossus is out, and it looks like HwangSin's going to try and get into position, try and protect his Nexus, but it looks like he is just absolutely beaten here, and he's going to have to drop it at this point. Thermal Lance is about halfway through, as well as +2/+2 for our Protoss player, because he was getting that Forge. So he's going to have to try and wait this out, and sacking those 400 minerals right now is absolutely worth it.
Yeah, and containing that third is absolutely worth it as well. If he wants to transition behind this into a third, he can do so. We actually see a proxy pylon up here in the north warping in some Zealots, so there could be some light harassment that could stream into the main for Violution, so we'll have to be wary of that. But now we see him kind of leapfrogging forward with these tanks. He's going to start raining down on HwangSin, and this is just a really hard unit composition to beat in the kind of early game for Protoss. You have to be so careful and micro so efficiently, but these Colossus are really going to help out.
Yeah, these Colossus are going to be absolutely pivotal here. Comscan going down, going to be able to snipe off a pylon, but these Zealots now are going to be making it into the main base of Vile Illusion. Just how much damage can he do here? He's been holding off the Protoss for a long... the whole Protoss has been holding off the Terran from moving up. But right now, there's just so many Zealots coming in here. He's got a Marauder and a Siege Tank. Meanwhile, there's a little bit of movement down here. There's a couple of Banshees that are going to be patrolling just to keep sight of the Protoss army. Now those Zealots are going to be making their way into the mineral line. And is Vile Illusion going to be losing too many SCVs here? I'm not exactly sure. They're now idly standing by, and those Zealots are being focused down. A lot of them are at pretty much one shot each for this Marauder, but this Marauder could just go down. The Siege Tank looks like it's going to be able to clean that up. And actually, right now, they are pretty even on the worker kills, 12 to 10. And actually, I'd also like to note that it's red and pink for the colors, and that's just an absolutely celebratory color choice here to our prior Valentine's Day. Now, these Banshees come in and do a little bit of poking.
Yep, they're trying to poke in there a little bit. We see Violution just trying to gain some more positioning. We see so many bunkers up for him right now. But some of that doesn't even matter. He's just containing his opponent while he secures his third base right now, which is really important. We see more warp-ins going in up at the north, and actually a warp prison being built as well. So, you know, even though this containment is going on, HwangSin is doing a really great job of trying to add some layers of harassment behind this.
Oh, and Blink has been researched. Those Banshees just barely getting away. I'm surprised they actually weren't focused down there by HwangSin. So he's going to actually just be able to get away, and these SCVs that have been built in the bunkers will just repair.
Oh, I kind of like this move that HwangSin is going to be doing. He's actually going to be flanking with these Zealots, so he's going to be trying to get a nice round. This is going to work out really in his favor. 4 Colossus already out, streaming down. Thermal Lance is going down, and I think all of this is going to get cleaned up pretty easily. Violution now looking in the best spot. Point defense drones going down right now, but these Colossus are just doing way too much damage against these bunkers. So Violution is going to lose all this force and fall pretty far behind after this.
Yeah, the Observer now just coming in, but is it going to get sniped by the missile tower? Yes, it does get sniped. So those Banshees are actually pretty protected right now, but he doesn't know that they are. 1 bunker stands, but there's 3 Colossus and a number of Stalkers left, and there's actually no Observer left on the map for HwangSin right now. So that's actually kind of scary, but these Cloaked Banshees are not too sure of that information, so they're going to be making their way back. And 1 Zealot stands wailing on that last the command center that's been moved down to the forward third of Vile Illusion. So now Vile Illusion's got a pretty scary death ball heading his way. 3 Colossus and a number of Stalkers and an Immortal.
Yeah, one of the things that we need to see Vile Illusion start doing is getting that Viking count going. He's moving his starport around, trying to find room for it. He needs to get that Viking production on its way. More bunkers are coming up right now to add some sort of layer of defense, but again, those Colossus are going to be able to shred through that pretty easily. That forward pylon still hasn't been taken care of, and we've seen now that HwangSin has transitioned into Archons as well. So this is going to be a pretty hard attack for Vile Illusion to stop.
But if he does, and he doesn't even sack that many workers to save this off, he's going to be up way ahead. He's already got his third base. It's already up. It's going to be a planetary fortress. Meanwhile, HwangSin is just getting his third base up, but he's also got a 4th base down here in a nice little area. But it looks like there's going to be some forward aggression. The bunkers aren't even full, actually, but those siege tanks are laying waste to those Colossus. They're taking a lot of damage, but the Immortal finally goes down. There is an Archon that is still up as well. Is he going to be able to hold this off? It looks like he may just be able to. Now, there's not that many Stalkers left, and that Banshee is actually doing a good amount of damage here. And SCVs are going to come in and repair the rest of those bunkers.
And while all that was going on, there was some harassment going down in the main base of HwangSin. Another Banshee sneaking its way in, and it got about 8 or 10 probe kills as well.
Ooh.
And that's why we're actually seeing HwangSin take this very secret base here down in the right-hand corner, and he's going to need this to kind of catch up economically right now. Excuse me. It's 51 probes to 67 SCVs, so Vile Illusion, good spot.
He's in a very good spot right now. But this is where it gets a little bit difficult here, is that trying to grab a 4th here is going to be very difficult against a Protoss Death Ball. because that death ball can pressure wherever it pleases. And it's going to be very difficult for Illusion to really deal with that kind of pressure. All of these fourth bases are very much so out of the way. But for HwangSin, I mean, he's just going to now have to deal with the drop harass that's going to be eventually coming out of Vile Illusion.
Yep, and we see that we have Zealot strategically kind of placed up here to maybe even spot expansions or a drop. That Zealot was within range, so it's
got that information on that drop that's up there in the top left, and now Illusion's going to pull that back.
Nice move by Illusion. He doesn't want to lose that. There we see all the Stalkers being pulled back right now in anticipation for that drop, or not. There they go. They finally are kind of moving their way back to maybe a more secure location. Oh, if he could spot this base down here, though, that would be pretty huge. I mean, that's kind of along the path of drop play, as there's not a lot of dead space on the edges of this map for move. But, oh, big push coming out of Vile Illusion.
Huge push. Now, a very big note here is that HwangSin has grabbed his High Templar technology and his Psionic Storm technology. So now he's going to have those very scary Protoss Psionic Storms that just shred through biological armies. And he's got a couple of High Templar up already. There's at least 3 Storms within these armies. Now, granted, Illusion's got Cloak and he's got Ghosts. So if he can get off a couple of really good snipes or EMPs, he could be able to really change the
oh, this Templar is trying to go feed back that Ghost. It's going to be pretty close. We need to see Vile Illusion be a little bit more careful with that. He's stemming forward a little bit of a squad of Marauder to kind of scout ahead and make sure those Templars don't get those feedbacks off. And there they go, trying to get in. Oh, a nice Storm goes down.
Like a lot of those Bioforces ran into there, and one Marine actually just exploded in that. Just, I don't know what happens during a Psionic Storm, but apparently just everything in you explodes at once when you die.
A lot of electricity just surging through you or something of that nature. Now we see more bunkers coming up. He's again trying to do this containment, so maybe he's still going to be going off a 4th base. He's still unaware of HwangSin's secret base down here, so I mean, as far as he knows, he's keeping his opponent on 3 bases.
Oh, but it looks like here comes the break. Now, a number of these Protoss Zealots are going to be running into this Bio Ball. The Siege Tanks trying to do as much damage as they possibly can, but they're not focusing down that last Colossus. But it looks like Illusion's going to be able to turn the tides of this battle, and an Immortal does get taken out, but getting a little bit too eager, running straight into that Storm, but he had to pull back at the last second. And Illusion keeps his contain here. There are still 3 Colossus up. I don't think a single Colossus went down in that. But Vile Illusion's going to be at a very good upgrade advantage when he does get this 3-3, which should be finishing up in the next 50-some seconds here for our Terran player.
Yeah, definitely a good note to be putting out there right now. Nuke going down as well on the main army of HwangSin. He's going to have to move that. Great thing about these nukes is it just gives Terran a lot better positioning. So great job by Vile Illusion. It's actually going to be able to do some damage to this Nexus as well. Oh, just a little shield damage, a little poke. But here we go.
Tickle there.
Yeah, Vile Illusion moving up now, trying to gain some better positioning. And again, like you said, that 3-3 is going to be huge. We don't see HwangSin going for his 3-3 anytime soon.
Yes, his upgrades are really delayed at this point, and just a lot of ghosts coming out from Vile Illusion, rallying them all to this forward army here. But here comes the second engagement. And it looks like those Archons are going to be taking a lot of damage, but those Storms are going to be dealing a lot of damage themselves, and all of the Siege Tanks go down, as well as most of the Marine Marauder force here. And I don't know if Illusion's going to be able to deal with this. There are a lot of Colossus now out for HwangSin, and he's just pushing across the map. There's nothing that can stop him now.
Yeah, that would definitely be a really nice choice by HwangSin. Hopefully he brings some probes with him to set down some more forward pylons. No, it looks like he's not going to actually overextend himself this time, as last time it really didn't work out in his favor. Maybe he's just going to try and secure this 5th base that's going up right now. Gain some more positioning, you know. When you're ahead, try and get more ahead.
Meanwhile, you know, Vile Illusion definitely think that he's been keeping HwangSin on just 2 bases, maybe 3 bases for a couple of seconds, but HwangSin's got this 4th base down here, and now he's got this 5th base in between all of his other bases that's going to be going up to about halfway done now. And Illusion's been sticking on these 2 bases. He's completely mined out of his main and his natural. So now he's just stuck to this last base here. This is going to be very scary for him to deal with. But it looks like a command center is going to be floating down here to the 3 o'clock position. But a large force is keeping that pressure alive.
Yep, you are right. He's going to be able to deny that 4th base pretty easy. As we see HwangSin send his army down into that position. Good thing he didn't keep that command center over there, else he would have lost it. Medevac going down by this secret base. Is he going to spot it? Let's see, Violition. Yep, he does spot that secret base down there. So he could, yep, he is going to turn around and attack that, I think.
Ooh, and a feedback gets that
my goodness.
Medevac, and there's the double T from Violution.
That was sick. That was good.
This is becoming quite an uphill battle for him to deal with right now. With the number of Colossus out, 7 Colossus. 3-3 now finally underway, about halfway done for the weapons, and just begun for the armor. But that Protoss ball here, Nerdswagger, that is some scary stuff to deal with.
Yeah, that is continuing to grow, Sham2. We see actually now finally the 3-3 coming out of HwangSin, so it's going to be on his way, so upgrades aren't going to matter too much. Defensive nuke going down. Violutions like, you are not attacking this base because I'm going to nuke it.
You can't hit me, I'll hit me.
In.
But it looks like, yeah, he gets a lot of their the stalkers there. Yeah, that's pretty good there.
There we go. Now we see Violution transforming that into another planetary fortress. So that's his 2nd planetary fortress already. I mean, he already has a lot of energy on his orbitals, so he can still throw down a ton of mules. But I never agree with the planetary fortresses in PvT a whole lot, just because of those Colossus and how they kind of tear through them pretty easily with the range that they have from Thermal Lance.
Now, Illusion might be overextending himself here. He's putting down a double medevac drop. He's going to try and take out this base. There's not that many probes here, actually, to be quite honest, given how long this whole entire base has been up. But, oh, a storm does go down by that High Templar, but it looks like he is going to be able to clean up this base, as a ton of Zealots are warped in, but that was the only pylon that was left. And yes, the forces are trying to come down here and do some damage, try and clean this up, but they are not going to be in time as the Nexus does go down, and these medevacs are going to pick up those Marines and get out of there. No, the medevacs are just going to leave without the Marines. He needs to get these guys out of here now.
Nice snipe, though, by Violution. Of course, yep, I don't think his units are going to get away. 1 medevac is going to go down, so 4 Marines survive to tail the tale. But they're not going to be able to go anywhere as, bam, sniped again by the High Templar. Nice job by HwangSin. You know, one thing I really want to see Violution do is move into some Viking play. He hasn't produced a single Viking since he's seen these Colossus, and there's 8 Colossus out on the field. And that's just way too many, and it just rips through Bioforces. Like, I can't iterate that enough.
But I guess the best way that Violution has to deal with this army is to keep it making it go back and forth and deal with all of these drops, because these drops are absolutely everywhere. Now, granted, at this point, the food supplies are actually pretty even, and the income's actually pretty even as well, given the amount of mules that Violution's going to have as well. And did that get canceled?
No, it didn't. That was my reaction. No cancel coming down from HwangSin, so not really paying attention there. Now again, he's back on the 4 bases right now. Actually, he's kind of mined out of his main and his natural, so he's sitting on 2 bases right now. Let's check with our Terran player, Violution. He should be on 2 bases as well. Actually, 1.5.
Yeah, he is completely starving himself out here on each of these bases. But he is making a lot more minerals, probably culling down a lot of those mules. He's got a lot of ghosts saved up, so those EMPs are going to be pretty big. He's got a nuke saved up as well. But HwangSin, given the amount of minerals and everything he hasn't maxed out, which is absolutely staggering to see this happen. He's at 161 as opposed to 200, and he's got 3,100 in his minerals. What's
as busy as Violution has been keeping HwangSin going back and forth with this drop play. You know, you're right. Look how many minerals he's sitting on right now. He could have easily kind of maxed out by now on a big Zealot army composition if he wanted. He could have used that gas towards getting at least the shield upgrades. So he's kind of slipping a little bit on this calm before the storm.
Very interesting indeed. So it looks like he's going to be poking around here. A couple of Marauders are going to scout this movement by HwangSin. Now, what is Violution's response?
I found the problem.
Oh, you found the problem?
He only has 8 gateways. Like, that's not good when you're sitting on 4 bases. You almost need 4 gateways for every base. That's kind of how I do my production, at least when I play Protoss. So, I mean, he could easily throw down 4 more gateways right now and still be fine on production. So I mean, that's what you need to see from Protoss players when they have this big minerals built up right now. But it looks like HwangSin might be finding Vile Illusion's army caught out of position, or at least stuck back here.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure. You know, he could get a couple of really key positions here and cut off the forces from either on one side or the other. Defensive nuke going to be going down once again. He's going to have to cancel that nuke. But this is going to be very delicate in positioning. But oh, so many SCVs just got absolutely obliterated there by those Colossus. And looking at the amount of workers killed is 74 to 28 in HwangSin's favor right now. And it looks like he's going to be pressuring the front over here. And it looks like those Colossus are going to do a lot of damage.
Yeah, I like this decision from HwangSin right now, kind of trying to poke his way up into the natural, as you want to cut the production off from the Terran player. It doesn't matter about economy as much, because you know they have mules that they can throw down. They have all these bases that are protected by planetary fortresses. But if you cut off those barracks, those starports, that's what's really going to hinder the Terran army from continuing to be in this game.
And look at HwangSin, you know, he's so confident with this force, he can't possibly lose the positioning here. There's only 2 attack paths to that left side of the map, and because he knows that he can control both those positions right now, he's just absolutely nexused up. It's pretty much his game to lose right now. As Vile Illusion's only got so many bases. He's grabbed another one down here at the 3 o'clock, but oh, is he going to be catching the rest of these forces? Yes, he is. He's going to get a number of those forces down, but there's not that much here to help out, and it looks like Vile Illusion's going to possibly go for some sort of pincer. I know at least one EMP went down. No EMPs did go down there, and this is just going to be very awkward for Vile Illusion to coordinate at once.
You know, it's just going back to one of those things. He doesn't have enough Vikings to handle these Colossus.
No,
these
dude,
Colossus,
he's got 1 Viking.
Oh, that's, yeah, 2 Vikings. That's not enough. One of these Colossus has 25 kills. I'm pretty sure it's been here since the beginning of the game. So that one actually finally goes down. But still, these Colossus have been dictating the game. Finally, Colossus getting into the fray and doing some damage, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. This Bioforce is getting shredded through the Thermal Lance right now. Stalkers need to start focusing down those Vikings, because those Vikings are actually dwindling the Colossus count here. So if Vile Illusion gets back in this, there you go. GG.
There we go.